So I had mentioned before that UFC President Dana White is deciding to make a move into the boxing world. And I had said that this has a chance to save boxing, bring some new life to it. And I just woke up this morning to see a report of the alleged pay rate of Dana White's new boxing organization, TKO. It's shit. It was predicted to be shit by a lot of people. A good amount of those people were boxers themselves. So I'm not quite surprised. But, still, even though I was expecting it, I am still honestly a little shocked to see it. The pay rate is obviously shit compared to your average boxing, not average boxing fight, but your average high level boxing fight. The pay rate is pretty shit. But that pay rate does pretty much match the same pay rate as the UFC, and the UFC's pay rate is pretty much shit as well. People have said that a lot. So this of course is going to create a lot of skeptics toward TKO and how they're going to do. I am obviously becoming more skeptical after taking a look at this pay rate, but Dana White has a way of promoting. He is a promoter. He has a way of, you know, selling shit. And even though the pay rate is shit for TKO, I still haven't completely lost hope. And I know that may be weird to say, but again, Dana White's got a way of selling, promoting, advertising, marketing that just works. And he did it with the UFC. The UFC is very fucking big today. They've got a lot of fans, me included. They're only growing, and maybe one day they're gonna be fucking above the NBA, NFL, everything. And it's not just only because you know, um, they're an MMA organization. It's also because of their marketing, of their advertising, of the fighters they have. A lot of them are entertaining, and MMA does sweeten the deal. But again, there's something about the UFC that puts asses in seats, and Dana White might be able to do the same shit with TKO. Of course, it remains to be seen, and that pay rate is ugly as shit compared to how again your average high level boxer is doing, especially your average fucking YouTube boxer. YouTube boxers make more than this shitty ass fucking scale, and it's not even for a bout. It's for like some shitty belt that was just created last week. And this YouTube fighter will come out of that fight with what fucking guaranteed 2 million, 1 million. Granted, these YouTubers are YouTubers with huge followings, a ton of fans that are really overjoyed with filling up some arena, and that's why they're making more money. Um, it just is like, okay. Before I'm gonna go into my next thing, I just want to revisit what I just said. That's why they're making more money. A lot of people, myself included, have been ripping on boxing a lot just because there are a lot more deserving boxers who have dedicated their life to boxing who are making less than your average fucking McDonald's manager. And then there are like, you know, 12-year-old YouTubers who decide to like fight some other 12-year-old because, the 12-year-old they're fighting spoke to their girlfriend last month. So they're going to meet in the ring and duke it out for like 3 rounds of 3 minutes. And then they walk away from that fight with 2 million guaranteed. And you compare the lifestyles of that 12-year-old and the boxer that's probably like what 29 or 30 that's dedicated like a good 15 years of pain, blood, sweat, tears, everything, and they're making a shitty 50 grand. And that's why a lot of boxing fans are pissed. But at the end of the day, you have to consider the fact that the 12-year-old has more fans. So the 12-year-old simply has more people that are willing to pay and watch him. It's the same, it's the same logic that can be applied to the WNBA NBA whole controversy. About women saying the WNBA players should be paid just as much as the NBA players. But the bottom line is, you get paid for what you're worth. You get paid for how many people are willing to come and see you. So that's simply what it comes down to. But while those are the facts, you still have to realize that it is making a joke of the sport. It's still making boxing a joke rather than a honorable, serious craft that people have dedicated their lives to, rather than some 12-year-old trying to settle a beef with his ex friend for 3 rounds of 3 minutes. You know, but again, there's two different sides to it. On one hand, like I said, you get paid for what you're worth. On the other hand, you know, you're getting paid a lot to just spit on a sport, a really honorable, legendary sport. Besides all of that, TKO, again, shitty fucking pay scale. I don't know how they're gonna get these big name boxers that Dana White is claiming to be able to get. Um, but I'm not fully going to doubt Dana White yet, because again, while the pay rate is shit, there are still ways to advertise and market and promote, and somehow before you know it, you see a fuck ton of people trying to rush into a small stadium to watch some poorly paid boxers fight under this new TKO belt. So only time will tell what really is going to go down. Um, but I'm interested. I am interested mainly out of a sense of morbid curiosity. But overall, you let me know what you think. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and turn them notifications on. Most importantly, turn them notifications on so you're notified about my next video. YouTube likes to fuck with my viewership, so make sure you turn them notifications on and you are kept in the loop. I love you guys. I'll see you all in the next.